2024, Paris. Henri Paul's son, Laurent, decides to sell the Mercedes from the crash that killed his father 27 years ago. While cleaning the car, he finds a hidden camera at chest level. The recording shows August 30th, 1997, 11:47 p.m. His father appears on screen, talking to someone. "Yes, I took the money. But I can't do this. She's a princess. She has 2 children. I'm not a murderer." The voice on the other end is cold. "Too late, Henri. Either you follow the plan, or you know what will happen to you and your family." Laurent's hand trembles. They said his father was drunk that night. They said he caused the crash. But this recording changes everything. Laurent Paul, 32 years old, lived in a small apartment in northern Paris. He had lost his father, Henri Paul, when he was 7 years old. August 31st, 1997. That night, the world had changed. The story Laurent had heard all his life was this. His father had been drinking heavily that night. He had used drugs. He had driven the car too fast. And Princess Diana, Dodi Al-Fayed, and he himself had died. Laurent had grown up with his father being called the drunk driver. At school, his friends called him the killer's son. His mother had withdrawn into the house out of shame. And Laurent had grown up hating his father. But now, in March 2024, everything was about to change. Laurent's mother had died last year. When he returned home to collect her things, he saw that Mercedes still sitting in the garage. It had been there for 27 years, motionless, silent, like a grave. "I need to sell this car," Laurent had thought. "It's time to leave the past behind." Early Saturday morning, he went to the garage. When he opened the car, the smell of mold hit his nose. The interior was covered in dust. 27 years of silence. Laurent began cleaning the car, the front seat, the back seat, the dashboard. As he wiped the dashboard, his hand caught on something hard, plastic. He bent down and looked. Hidden cleverly inside the dashboard was a small camera. His heart began to race. What did this mean? He carefully removed the camera. It was an old model digital camera. The SD card was still inside. Laurent, with trembling hands, took the camera home. He connected it to his computer. He inserted the SD card. The file was there, a single video file. Date August 30th, 1997, 11:47 p.m., just before the night his father died. Laurent's finger froze over the mouse. Should he open it? Did he want to see his father's final moments? But he needed to know. He had hated his father for 27 years. Maybe it was time to learn the truth. He opened the video. The screen was dark. Then sounds came. Car sounds. Then a man appeared. Henri Paul. Laurent's breath caught. He had been 17 the last time he saw his father. Now he was 32. And 27 years later, he was seeing his father's face. Henri was sitting in the car. The back parking lot of the Ritz hotel appeared. It was 11:47 p.m., 13 minutes before he got into the car. Henri was on the phone. Yes, I understand," Henri was saying, his voice tense. "I took the money, but listen, this isn't right. Something could happen. People could die." The voice on the phone couldn't be heard, but Henri's face was growing paler. No, I can't do this," Henri said, his voice trembling. "She's a princess. She has 2 children. I'm not a murderer." The voice on the phone said something. Henri's face fell. "My family?" Henri whispered. "Don't touch my family. Please. My wife, my son, they're innocent." Laurent leaned into the screen. "My family," his father had said. He had meant him. Okay, Henri said, tears in his eyes. "I'll do it. I'll do it like you said, but swear, nothing will happen to my family." The phone hung up. Henri rested his head on the steering wheel and began to cry. Laurent watched his father cry. The 49-year-old man was sobbing like a child. "God forgive me," Henri said quietly. "God forgive me for what I am about to do." Then a voice came from outside the car. "Henri, are you ready?" Henri quickly wiped his eyes, pulled himself together. He got out of the car. The camera stayed on. The video ended. Laurent stared at the computer screen. His hands were shaking. His stomach was churning. "I took the money. I'm not a murderer. Don't touch my family." His father. What had his father been forced to do? Laurent watched the video over and over. Each time he noticed a new detail: his father's fear, his desperation, his crying. This man wasn't drunk. This man hadn't used drugs. This man had been forced into a crime. But who? Who had threatened his father? And what money? Laurent began searching through his father's old papers. In boxes, folders, envelopes that had been stored for 27 years. He was looking for something but didn't know what. 3 days later, in his mother's bedroom, he found an old folder. Inside were bank account statements, all in his father's name. As Laurent looked through the statements, something caught his attention. August 29th, 1997. A transfer of 200,000 euros. Source: Switzerland, account name unclear. August 30th, 1997. Henri's request to withdraw the money. Denied. Account blocked. Laurent froze. 200,000 euros, 2 days before the crash. "I took the money." His father's words from the video echoed. Laurent took a deep breath and reached for the phone. He needed to call the Swiss bank. It took 2 weeks, but finally he was able to speak with a bank representative. The account was still active. 200,000 euros sat inside, untouched for 27 years. "What is the source of the transfer?" Laurent asked. The bank representative hesitated. "Sir, that information is confidential. I'm Henri Paul's son. My father died 27 years ago. This money is in his account. I have a right to know the source." A long silence. Then the representative returned. "The transfer source is under a code name, Operation Angel. The sending institution, British Intelligence Service, MI6. Laurent almost dropped the phone. MI6. British Intelligence. They had sent his father money 2 days before the crash. And his father had tried to return the money, but it had been blocked. Laurent watched the video one more time. This time, everything became clear. His father had been trapped. He had been lured with money. Then he had been threatened. And finally, he had died. But why? To kill Diana. Laurent thought of the old conspiracy theories, the theories that Diana had been murdered. But no one had ever found proof. Now Laurent had the proof in his hands. The hidden camera recording, the bank transfer, the MI6 connection. What should Laurent do? That night, Laurent sat in his living room, thinking. The news was playing on television, but he wasn't watching. He had misjudged his father for 27 years. He had hated him as a murderer. But his father was innocent. He had been a victim. Laurent looked at his father's photograph, an old family photo hanging on the wall. His father was smiling, his mother was laughing, and 7-year-old Laurent stood in the middle. "I'm sorry, Dad," Laurent whispered. "I'm sorry I hated you. But now I know, and everyone will know." The next day, Laurent went to a lawyer. The lawyer examined the video and bank records. His eyes widened. This is incredible," the lawyer said. "If this is real, this is one of the biggest scandals in history." It's real, Laurent said, and the world needs to know. But Mr. Paul, this is very dangerous. You're suing MI6, the British government, powerful people. I don't care, Laurent said. My father has been called a murderer for 27 years. This shame killed my mother. I grew up without a father for 27 years. It's time the truth came out. The lawyer nodded. Then let's begin. August 30th, 1997. 11:30 p.m. Henri Paul sat in the staff room at the Ritz Hotel. His shift was over, but he couldn't go home. His phone had rung that morning. The voice was unfamiliar. British accent. Cold. Mr. Paul, we have a job offer for you. Who is this? Henri had asked. That's not important. What's important is this. You can earn 200,000 euros. Tonight. For one job. Henri hesitated. 200,000 euros. That money could pay off all his debts. He could send his son to university. He could buy his wife a nice house. What do I need to do? Tonight, Princess Diana will stay at the Ritz Hotel. You'll drive her to the airport. But you need to follow a specific route. What route? You need to go through the Alma Tunnel, and you need to drive fast, as if you're escaping from paparazzi. Henri's stomach turned. That's dangerous. There could be a crash. There won't be. It'll just be an exciting ride. Diana likes this. Adrenaline. I don't know. 200,000 euros, Mr. Paul. We're depositing it into your account right now. Tomorrow morning, it's yours. Henri hesitated. He hung up the phone. And 2 minutes later, a message came from the bank. 200,000 euros deposited into your account. But by evening, Henri's conscience wasn't at ease. Something was wrong. Why were they paying so much money? At 8 p.m., he tried to return the money. He called the bank. I want to send this money back. The account is blocked, sir. No transfers can be made. What? Why? Sender's instructions. Henri panicked. He had been trapped. At 10 p.m., the phone rang again. Mr. Paul, cold feet? I don't want to do this job. Take the money back. Too late. You're in it now. Either you do the job or... Laurent looked so sweet at school. 7 years old, isn't he? Henri's heart stopped. Don't talk about my son. Then do your job. Drive the car. Go through the Alma Tunnel. Drive fast. Escape the paparazzi. It's that simple. And then your family's safe. You're rich. Everyone's happy. The phone hung up. Henri sat down and cried. At 11:47 p.m., he got into the car. The camera was on, but he didn't know. He recorded his last phone conversation, and then he drove the car. Diana and Dodi sat in the back seat, their bodyguards in front. Drive fast, Henri, Dodi said. The paparazzi are behind us. Henri pressed on the gas. His heart was racing wildly. His hands were trembling on the steering wheel. Let's go through the Alma Tunnel, Dodi said. It's faster. Henri entered the tunnel. Speed, 120 km/h. Then something happened. Light. Bright, white light. It blinded Henri's eyes. He braked, but it was too late. The car hit the pillar, and Henri Paul's last thought was, did I kiss Laurent this morning? April 2024. Paris Courthouse. Laurent Paul, together with his lawyer, held a press conference. All the major news channels were there. Today I will expose a 27-year-old lie, Laurent said, his voice calm but determined. He played the video. Before the world's eyes, Henri Paul's last conversation was shown. I took the money. I'm not a murderer. Don't touch my family. The room fell silent. Then he showed the bank records, the 200,000 euros from MI6. My father wasn't drunk, Laurent said. My father wasn't guilty. My father was murdered because of a conspiracy. Diana, Dodi, and my father, they were all victims. Questions exploded. Who planned this? Why did MI6 send money? Did the British government know? Laurent didn't know the answers, but he had exposed the truth. A week later, the British government issued an official statement. We are investigating the transfer made to Henri Paul. If any wrongdoing occurred, we will find those responsible. But everyone knew the full truth would never be revealed. May 2024. Laurent visited his father's grave. The headstone read, Henri Paul, 1956-1997. Laurent placed a new wreath. It read, an innocent man, a beloved father. Everyone knows now, Dad, Laurent said quietly. You weren't guilty, you were a victim, and I forgave you, and I love you. The wind blew gently, the leaves on the trees rustled, and Laurent vowed, this fight wasn't over. He would find Diana's real killers, no matter what it cost. 6 months later, October 2024. Laurent's lawyer received an envelope. Inside was an old photograph, Henri Paul with Diana and Dodi. They were smiling. They looked happy. On the back of the photo was a note. To Laurent, your father was a hero. We forced him, but he resisted. In the end, he agreed to protect your family. But before getting in the car, he placed a small device on the steering wheel, a device that would break the brake system, because he chose to die rather than kill them. Your father didn't cause the crash, Laurent. The crash was his choice. He died because he refused to kill Diana and Dodi. He died as a hero. Someone with regret. Laurent read the letter. Tears streamed down his cheeks. His father had been a hero. He had chosen to save Diana. But he hadn't succeeded. Or had he? Maybe Henri Paul hadn't saved Diana. But he had saved the truth, with the camera recording, with the evidence. And 27 years later, his son had revealed that truth to the world. Henri Paul's name had been cleared. And Diana's story was finally beginning to be told correctly.